Hey, my lovely, lovely, wonderful people, a pleasant afternoon to everyone. All right, I'm dedicating this to my wonderful ladies. Listen to me now, ladies. You may not want to hear this, but sometimes it is good to just promulgate certain messages out in the atmosphere so that one day it may resonate with you and you may be at that place where you're ready to take the information and take it very seriously. Listen to me, ladies. Do not shack up with a man if he's not willing to marry you now. I'm not going to say that he will not be willing to marry you later, because situations like that have happened. But you want to reduce, you want to mitigate any possibilities of him not. It's more than just not taking you for granted. It's more, it is, you want to reduce the possibilities of adding and taking on added burden that you do not need. I remember some months ago I was reading a study that showed over 40% of women who shacked up with men and then got married afterwards to that same man, that the divorce rate was high. It was in the 40s or higher percentage. You understand? So you have more divorce. So of all the divorces that you have, more of it were due to probably was due to people who shacked up with a man for a long time. Because what the message that you're subliminally sending to the man is that really there is no boundary here. I can really do what I choose to do or what I please to do. You understand? You allowed me when I was not married to you. So why? Because I say I do, you feel that I'm going to stop. You think habits are easy to die because the person say I do? One of the things I remember hearing somebody say is that marriage brings out the uglies even more. It unearths it even more. And that is why I'm sure that when you go to marriage counselors, for those who go, they will say to you that I don't think you're ready to get married yet, or I don't know if the two of you really have that symbiotic, that camaraderie, or that synergy to make a marriage work, because of how you are and what you hold true to, and how this man is and what he holds true to. Because one of the things with human beings is that we like to control, we like to hold on to our habits, we like to be in control. So can you imagine you have two controlling people in a relationship? That spells disaster. And usually the men do not want to be controlled. How they're wired, they're not going to take being controlled by a woman. And we all know this, generally speaking. And for the ones who take the control, I would love to hear what are what is the parameter? What is the dynamic in that relationship? In other words, is she the breadwinner? Does she have a lot of money? Is her family? Yeah. So he will sit down and take certain things in cases like that. If he feels, or if it's not an ambitious man, if he's kind of worthless, just don't care, kind of lackadaisical. But be sure that man is probably give you bun, cheese, and milk. Do not shack up. You are opening, what you're saying to this man is that there is no boundary to what I can do. I can really do anything. Yes. Because you're not putting stipulations and say, no, this is not what I stand for. Look at even relationships, platonic relationships. When you find that somebody says, I'm not going to tolerate this in my friendship. If this is what you're going to do and disrespect me, our friendship is over. So if the person really values you, because you can command that respect. So you can't always do it with everyone, because we don't live in a utopic world. We don't live in a world of wonderland where we say, oh my God, everybody's sweet, right? But you can mitigate the disrespect and the disregard that this man or woman or whomever it is can give to you. So in a regular platonic relationship, a basic, foundational relationship, if you put your feet down and if you say, this is my boundary, if you go over it, this is what will happen, and you keep your word, I guarantee you either they comply or they move away. Simple as that. And they will know not to mess with this one. Similarly, it is best when you put that parameter in. It doesn't matter how they love it. Everybody go through the lovey-dovey feeling where you feel like you cannot live without the person. You need them and you all that. You still have to put like a buffer in to say, no matter how I feel, I am not going to relent on this boundary. If you want to live with me, you have to say, I do. No, I'm not telling you to run into a marriage for a man to treat you badly or whatever it is. No, that's not what I'm saying. Because you can get married. Marriage does not necessarily mean that he will treat you right. Please. But what I'm simply saying to you is that there are certain things that he will not be able to get away with so easily. So, for example, if it's his house, he can't just get up and throw you out as a wife like that. He cannot not provide in certain little ways. If he's going to divorce you, oh God, he has to be prepared to lose some things materially, which he may not be prepared to do. That is why you'll find some people will sit down in a marriage with a Jezebel or a King Ahab or a horrible like a Saul, and stick with it because they realize, oh my God, financially and materially, I don't know if I can survive otherwise. So let me sit down with this a John Cryer and go on and go on pick and see what can go on in later years. Maybe she will dead by the time, him will dead by the time. It's a reality. It sounds really bad, but that's what they're probably thinking. That's a sad, but it is a reality. Do not shack up. Don't do it. It spells disaster most times. And close to almost always. Very close to always. Very close to always. And again, I'm not saying that in other relationships where the person, they have never shacked up with somebody and they could run into marriage, that it's not problematic. Obviously, it's going to be because you're dealing with two broken human beings, But what I'm saying is that you want to mitigate, you want to reduce the problems, and studies actually show, so this is empirical evidence, empirical data, that people at 40%, maybe it's all higher, maybe it is even higher in certain jurisdictions, that who shack up, where if they get married to that person, mighty God, it's like the problems, it's like they intensify, they heighten, because you've said to each other, there are no boundaries. So because you think I say, I do know, I'm going to just be bound by your law? No, I'm not. I'm still going to continue to do what I do. So if I was cheating on you, I'll continue with the cheating. If I really was not providing for you, I will continue. If I was not, as a woman, not giving a man sex often, I'm still going to do that. Saying that I do, they're just saying words before the past and before God. They're just saying words, but they don't mean it. They don't mean it. I never forgot when I was reading something, from a psychologist column. And it was very sad seeing that, where it says men can marry women that they don't love. People don't understand the human brain is wired so funny. So I'm saying that in the sense of, yes, I'm not saying that the marriage will guarantee you the world and more. No. But what you're doing is that you're mitigating certain financial, social, and material difficulties that if you were just shacked up or just a little fly-by-night thing, it would, that you would face that if it was a situation like that. So the man can just up and feel like he can throw you aside, or the woman can up and throw you aside and all of that. No, it doesn't work like that. There are certain securities that follow suit under the Marriage Act, under the Husband and Wife Act and law, So it therefore tells you a story that be careful of who you get yourselves involved with, so that you know that you choose as wisely as possible, because nobody is perfect, Everybody going to come with some kind of baggage and burden, no matter how wonderful they are, no matter how they come from a great home, because we were born in sin, shaped in iniquity, we have our flaws. You understand? But ensure that these flaws are flaws that you can manage. But you don't want to add to the different difficulties. And a lot of women end up suffering greatly because they shacked up first. I don't know. So even the name sound horrible. It sounds like a shamble place. Even when they say shack, I the common law. No. I've even heard of cases where people live together with a man, live with a woman for many, many years, and then make the woman iron his clothes and him go get married to somebody. Can you imagine? You see what he causing? Yeah, man. Me no business when nobody want to tell me say me nah shack up. Unless some disaster, God forbid a disaster strike where I'm forced to live with somebody like that. And they're going to be a roommate situation. No, absolutely not. It's going to have to be. But outside of something as crazy as that, I'm talking generally speaking, ladies, hold on to your principle. Is either the ring or no sting. All right? Word to the wise is sufficient unto the day. Anyway, guys, you know what to do. Read TikTok and YouTube. Subscribe. Give me one of those lions, and you can follow me on Instagram.